This is a walkthrough and sound demo of the backup and swarm patch that I created. The backup part actually refers to a recordable step sequencer which gets played through a simple monosynth. So it's the oscillator plays the frequencies of the step sequencer, and the oscillator goes through a multi-filter and a VCA, and there are two ADSR envelopes, one for the Q on the multi-filter and the VCA level on the VCA. And the oscillator also has an FM modulator, which is fed by a 5-step sequencer. So going through the pages, and it's worth noting that with this patch I was getting some noise. I'd gotten some noise before. Sometimes I get the noise, sometimes I don't. But I found that, so I have a Earthquaker Devices data corrupter. My Ibanez with humbucker pickups is going into the data corrupter, and then that goes into a Zoom MS100BT multi-stop, which is much like the other single pedal format multi-stops. And that goes into the left audio channel of the Euroburo. I found that when I ran the data corrupter, when I turned the pedal on, I wasn't getting the noise that I was getting otherwise, and so I thought adding that pedal after, adding the Zoom pedal after might help eliminate that noise. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. But on the ones that it didn't, I added a noise gate at the beginning of that preset on the Zoom pedal, and that helped out a lot. So going through the pages, the pages, page 0 is pitch memory. That's odd. I don't know why that happens. Anyway, page 0 is pitch memory. That's the current page being shown. So page 1 is sequencer on and off, and then page 2 is oscillator, filter, VCA, and envelopes, and then page 3 is FX and audio mix. I don't know why the indicator is on the previous page for indication. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that right now. So the audio in goes into a noise gate. I did that to try to eliminate some noise. That seems to help, but didn't do the whole job. So that's the Zoom pedal. And the output of the gate goes to a pitch detection and also goes to an onset detector. So going back to the noise gate, quick run through. So pitch detector, onset detector. Onset detector, the output goes down to a CV multiplier, which is also fed by a CV flip-flop. And the UI button turns on the recording function of the pitch memory. And that button also turns it off again. The output of that is connected to the triggers of all the sample and holds. I have 4 sample and holds one color, and then the next 4 sample and holds another. I found it easier to look at the groups 8 sample and holds divided by 2. Just seemed easier to look at that way. Next page. So the outputs, this is the 8th sample and hold, but it cascades through when you do pitch memory on, and it's connected to the first step of the step sequencer. If I go to the second last sample and hold and go to the next page, step 2. So that's the way it connects to all the different steps of the step sequencer. The tempo at which the step sequencer runs through the steps is determined by an LFO, square wave LFO, and actually so that I can turn the running of the step sequencer on and off, I have a UI button here. So there are notes already in, and it's running through right now. And turn off the running of the step sequencer. So, yeah. So there's a CD flip-flop to which the UI button's connected. The output is connected to this input of the CD multiplier, and then the output of the square wave LFO is connected to the other one. And when it's on, the LFO signal comes through and cycles the step sequencer. And I have gates on the step sequencer, which triggers the envelopes on the next page right here. Going back to the step sequencer, the CV outs feed into the oscillator, and that's an FM input on the oscillator, which is connected to this output of oscillator right here, and the this 5-step step sequencer is connected to this oscillator, and I just made this step sequencer connect back to the pitch memory, but it's not starting at step 1 or sample and hold 1. I think it starts at sample and hold 2, or I guess 7 would actually be its place. Anyway, it's connected backwards because of the cascading effect. So anyway, I did that that way, and it's 5 steps just so that it goes through and it doesn't, there's some variation as it goes along. So turn off the step sequencer and on to the next page. So there's the oscillator, there's the white is the multi-filter, and you can see the output of this ADSR is connected to the Q of that. The output of the multi-filter goes to the VCA, and the level of the VCA is connected to this ADSR. I used the ADSRs in the mode that allows for the release to be played out to have an effect after the gate has already turned off. So the output of the VCA is connected to the audio 1 input of the audio mixer, and the second input is connected to the output of this tone control. It's a 1 frequency tone control, and that's connected to the this fuzz effect, and the fuzz effect is directly connected to the audio in. So that's how that basically runs. I'll give a quick demo. So for some reason I cannot get this to work exactly like I want, but it's work in progress. So turn on the pitch detection for the pitch memory. So I'm going to start at G2 and we'll see what happens. I found sometimes it doesn't really track very well if I start with the low notes. The higher up in pitch I go, the better it seems to track. So this is actually G2 it's going to start at. And I play staccato notes so that I can get a, I don't get erroneous notes going into the step sequencer. A sharp 2, C3, that didn't seem to go. That should go. Then we have a D3, F3, G3, G3 there, and then A sharp 3, and G3 again. Turn off the pitch memory detection. We'll see how it turned out in the sequencer. So G4 this time, G2, C3, C3, C3. Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to work out. So I'm going to go back. Go back, start again, and I'm going to play higher notes this time. So I'm going to start at G2, but I'm going to the notes played were actually in the open position on the neck for that. So this is I'm gonna start at G2 and work my way down. So G2, A sharp 3. Oh, hit twice there. So let's try that again. G2, A sharp 3. C3, D3, and we have F and G, G. Okay, let's see how that worked out. Acting strangely. I don't know why. That's still on. and play up higher up in the neck past the 12th fret. Pitch memory entry is off. Go here. So we're getting a range of notes here, but not exactly how I thought I entered them. I'll play it. So it's kind of a good sounding sequence. I'll just play the guitar. We're playing. Press that button and this button, and I can change the strength of that FM connection. Let's see how the sound changes. Backup and Swarm demo. This is a sound demo of my Backup and Swarm patch, and I'm going to play the data corruptor at some point. Just see how it goes. I know it sounds alright to my ears, but if anybody wants to hear it. So I'm going to actually do I'm going to enter in new notes into the sequencer. checking the notes put in. And that'll work.